Hi everyone. In this video I'm going to show you how you can build and deploy a custom AI agent to accelerate claims processing using the example of a property damage claim like the one that we're taking a look at here. If you're an insurance adjuster, claims manager, operations lead, you know how time-consuming it can be to review lengthy claim documentation. You've cross-checked policy details, validate supporting evidence like photos and estimates. So what I'm going to show you is how the platform makes this process faster, more accurate, and scalable using an AI agent that we can start using in just minutes. Let me show you how it's done. I'm going to start the process from the beginning, so I'm just going to go back to the home page here. I'm going to go ahead and click Create New Agent. When you're creating an agent, you can just provide natural language instructions about what we want it to do. But in this case, we actually have a template already set up for insurance claim processing, so the instructions we're going to give the agent are to screen for inconsistencies in insurance claim documents. Go ahead and click that, and now we're in the agent creation screen. To get started, all we have to do is provide the agent with some example files for what we're going to be dealing with. Here I have a set of images and PDF documents from an insurance claim. I'm going to go ahead and click Submit, and we'll be able to take a look at those in just a moment here. But these are several image files, a policy document, and a claims document. Here's the claims document. So this was submitted for a water damage claim in a household, and we can see that the document includes details about the room, each room, and the type of repairs. If you're somebody who's processing this claim, you might take a look at whatever is the appropriate policy. In this case, this is the policy document that's relevant. And we have also been provided with some photos of the damage as well as the repairs afterwards. So we can get started with the agent by just having it extract the same kind of information that we would as a claims adjuster. So just as a basic example, I want to know what is the property address. This is a very simple one. But this is just to show that we can start getting some information very quickly here. And what Kolena will do is actually rewrite that instruction. So it's rewritten it here. This is the prompt that it's now going to provide to the underlying AI. It's optimized so that you don't have to worry about being specific. You can see that it actually has enriched this quite a bit so that we're much more likely to get the result that we expect. This looks good to me, so I'll go ahead and click Create, and it'll go ahead and follow through with that. Next thing I'll ask for is type of loss. Have it start on that. Since there are several rooms involved in this claim, we can see here that we have quite a lot of different rooms and different estimates here. What I want is just a kind of a summary table for each room. So I'm going to ask it to extract a table for each room and summarize its repairs. Go ahead and click Preview to see how it rewrites this prompt. And we can see that it's now rewritten it for each room mentioned in the document, extract the room name, and list all repair items with their associated costs. That sounds good to me. I'll go ahead and click Create. Let's take a look at that result. Great, this is exactly what I was looking for. Now we have a summary, a table summary here, where for each room we have a description of the repairs that were done in that room, summarized based on each of these individual items, and then also the total cost for each of those rooms. Now, if we want the agent to do anything a little differently, we can have it change what it does by either editing the direct extraction directly, meaning we would change the prompt, but we can just say suggest improvement and use natural language just as if we were talking to a coworker. So in this case, I want it to include the square footage for each room. I'll click Continue, and it will take this as feedback and rewrite its own instructions, just as if you were giving those instructions to a coworker. And now it's including square footage. You can see that it's added a column for square footage. That's exactly what I want. I'll click Update, and you can see that it's going to redo this table, now including square footage for each room. And it's just that easy to get the AI agent to do what you want. You suggest an improvement using natural language. We can see here that Kolena also provides this reasoning section. The reasoning section explains exactly how the agent is doing what it's doing, so you can get details on how this result was reached. Let me show you an example of an extraction that requires a bit more reasoning so that we can see how these agents can do things like intelligent summarization and calculation. So one of the main things that we want to know here is, are these repairs covered by the policy? This is obviously one of the most important things when you're dealing with a claim, and will typically involve cross-referencing a policy document such as this one with the repairs and all of the details here, and the agent can take care of that for us. And once this is done, I'll show you exactly the result, and we'll take a look at that reasoning here. Nope, it's already done. Great. We can see that it's come up as true, and we have exactly how that calculation or that conclusion was reached. The damage appears to be covered by the insurance policy for the following reasons. It cites exactly the coverage, the type of loss, it's not excluded, the total repair cost is within the policy limit, etc., etc. And it concludes with there are no apparent exclusions that would deny coverage. And it even provides, the Kolena will always provide citations to the document, so we can see that it's referring to this policy document as well as the repair estimate, including specific page number citations, for example, to get this total. All of that contributes to this confidence score so that you as a user know how confident the agent is in its reasoning and its conclusion here. And these agents can reason not just over text, but over images as well. So now we're going to make use of these photos. So now I'll ask it, do the photos show damage and repairs that are consistent with what is described in the repair estimate? Let's see how it refines this prompt. But effectively what we're going to be able to do is see if the damage cited matches the damage shown in the photos and the repairs match the repair state. We can see that it's enriched that prompt with a little bit more to look for. So now it's going to look for the type of damage matching, the materials matching, the locations matching, the scope of work, and making sure there are no discrepancies. And in a moment, we'll take a look at that result. Oh, there we go. Only took a moment. Great. We're seeing true here. Let's take a look at the reasoning. Photos and repair estimate shows strong consistency. It's confirming that these are water damage. They look appropriate. The affected materials match. It knows that the photos are showing damaged drywalls, walls. It understands the content of these images and the materials within. The photos show work being done on the walls. Floor damage and replacements visible. Scope of work appears appropriate. So it concludes that the photographic evidence strongly supports the scope and nature of repairs outlined in the detailed estimate, and therefore we get this value of true. So in just a few minutes, we've done a few of these extractions. They've got some complexity to them. We've been in the editor view. All of this comes into this report view, which is effectively the summary report that you're having the agent create every time it gets a new set of documents and images. We can choose to turn on the reasoning. So if we wanted to see how this information was reached, we have the details here, such as for these true, false, the ones that refer to the photos. We can choose to download this or have this automatically exported to a folder of our choice or other data destination, wherever we have our data living. And importantly, we only have to do this process of giving instructions for these extractions one time. We use this as an example, but now every time that we upload a new claim, including all of the supporting evidence, it will run through each of these extractions according to those instructions. So we'll get the property address, the type of loss, the summary, and this analysis for each new claim without having to do any additional manual work. And to set that up, we have something called connections. So you can see here on the onboarding flow, there's this optional third step. We'll click continue. And connections basically mean you have a data source and a data destination. The data source is where your claims information comes in, the documents that we input. So if we had those and we wanted to connect to, for example, a cloud storage location, or in this case, I'm going to show you a Google Drive connection, but it could be really anywhere where your documents and images are. You can have those brought in. So what I'm going to do is say, anytime that I see something show up in this data room, then I want the agent to go ahead and run through that process, and then the instructions that we instructed it to do. And when it's done, it'll create a report and drop that in the destination. So it can be downstream wherever you want your summary information to end up. You could have it emailed to you even, or in this case, I'm just going to select the same folder. Click confirm. And now that's all we have to do is to set up automation. So now when new documents come in here, they'll be processed by the agent and put into the destination. Here now I've added several more extractions in the same process that I showed before. And now we have an agent that can basically handle this initial claim triage very quickly in just a couple of minutes, really, in terms of processing a document and extracting this summary analysis. So this will give you early detection for potential non-coverage, give basically a standardized evaluation regardless of the input format. So it doesn't matter exactly that the document has a particular format. The AI can handle any format and intelligently extract all of that for you. And this is just one example of what these agents can do. This one is specialized for these property damage insurance claims, but you can create an agent for any process, for any document process like the one that we showed here. So we could expand it to extract invoice totals, compare estimate to policy coverage, calculate deductible thresholds, any other insurance use case, and even going beyond insurance into other fields. And the beauty is that you can build and tweak these agents yourself in Kolena. You don't need to code, and you don't need a development team. If this sounds interesting to you, please reach out. We'd love to help you get started. Thanks for watching.